Well, we would like to thank y'all for coming out tonight. We're so excited to be doing this. Jeff Reed and I have been trying to get this together for over a year, literally. And things kept happening, and we finally said we just have to do it. So we're really glad that all of y'all could come out and that we have such a good group to get started, because what we really want is for our community to band together and learn how to use social media together so that we can serve as a role model for the other rural communities around the country. Anyway, my name is Lisa Kipps-Brown, and this is my son Glenn Brown, and we own Glare Business Resources, which is a web and mobile development company. And this event is sponsored by the Industrial Development Authority and the Tourism Department of Halifax County and the Halifax County Chamber of Commerce. Tonight we're only going to be here about an hour. This is just going to be a fun, kind of quick overview of what social media is, how it's used, that kind of thing, to kind of break the ice so that y'all don't feel so afraid, and to get your mind going so that when we come back after the beginning of the year, maybe you'll have some ideas as to how you can start using it. And as you can tell, I don't have much of a voice left because I had bronchitis last week, so Glenn is going to do most of the talking, and I'm going to let him go ahead and get started.
All right. How many of you know who Paul Revere is? Show of hands. It's pretty much everybody here. How many of you know who William Dawes is? Anybody? William Dawes was a man who rode the same night out of Boston at the same time to tell people on the New England countryside the same thing that Paul Revere was telling them, that the British were coming. Now, everybody here knows who Paul Revere is, but not many people know who William Dawes is. The reason that is because Paul Revere had a lot of friends outside of his small circle. A lot of people knew him on the countryside, a lot of important people in colonial militias, whereas William Dawes didn't have a whole lot of friends outside of Boston. So when Paul Revere left on his ride, he was able to contact these people that he knew, these important people, knock on their doors, wake them up, and they knew him and trusted him, and they mobilized. Whereas William Dawes, who did pretty much the same thing, when he knocked on their doors in the middle of the night, they thought he might just be a madman who didn't really know what he was talking about. Paul Revere mobilized about 4 to 5 times more fighting people than William Dawes did, simply because he knew more people. And that's a pretty good example of why social media is important. That's pretty much what social media comes down to. Being in contact with as many people as possible and being able to get your message out there to as many people as possible. So, social media can be really useful, as I told you. It can be something that can really get your message out there. It can help with your brand, help with brand recognition, or it can really turn people off to your brand. The way to think about it is to behave on social media like you would behave at a party. If you're going to a party and somebody asks who you are, you introduce yourself and you tell them a little bit about you. You ask about them. You don't, however, talk about yourself for half an hour and then walk away when you're done, right? That goes into obnoxious media, bores media, conceited media, selfish media. You don't want to just sit there and rabble on about nothing. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what we're going to do tonight is talk about the new social media. Everything out there is social media, whether it's letters to the editor or calling in the radio station and making a request, but we're not going to talk about the types that we're used to. We're going to talk about the new tools that people are trying to get used to using, unless they're his age or younger probably. Those of us who straddle the digital age, have a harder time getting used to using tools. So we wanted you to know that you don't use it only to make sales and only to make money. You can use it for increased brand awareness, customer service, customer loyalty, employee searches, increased sales, and also search engine optimization. And we're going to give you some examples later of various campaigns that companies have done.
Lisa, what is search engine optimization?
Well, search engine optimization covers a whole lot of different techniques, but basically it's a process of doing different things in addition. Well, you do certain things to your website, technically, that make it more search engine accessible, but you also do things outside of your website to help with search engine placement. And so when you're blogging or you have posts on Facebook or other people are blogging and linking to your site, you're on Twitter, all those different things create links that come into your website, and those give you authority in the search engine world. The search engines start thinking, oh, well, this site must be kind of important because all these people are linking to it. In some way, maybe they're talking about something that has something to do with the site. You know, if I have a kindergarten class linking to my site, it's not going to help me very much. But if I have another developer linking to my site, it's going to help me more. So it encompasses a whole lot of different things, but all of these social media tools do help a lot with search engine optimization.
Search engines are the Google and Yahoo.
Right, Google, Yahoo, YouTube is even a search engine. Most people don't think about it. It fluctuates between second and third largest search engine in America, based on, you know, what Bing and Yahoo were doing at the time. But we don't think of it that way. You know, most of us just think of it as a video site. Anyway, so what we want to encourage you to do is to use your website as the center of the hub, but think about all these other things around it. Obviously, the search engines to find your site, but blogs own your site, social networking, email marketing. And again, with email marketing, you don't want to be obnoxious. You don't want to email people who haven't asked you to or opted in some type of way, because you'll get labeled as a spammer and get cut off really quickly. You can use QR codes to tie your printed media to your digital media. Like, for example, in the glossary that we handed out, if you scan that, if you have a smartphone with a QR code reader and you scan it, it would take you to our website. So QR codes are a great way for you to have magazine ads, billboards, signs by the road, any type of printed media that can tie to your digital media. Scotty, for example, a lot of realtors will have QR codes on signs for a property, and when the people scan it, it will take them to the detail page for the property, because obviously there's not so much information that can fit on a sign. Press releases, when you write press releases, there are a lot of different ways to optimize those for search engines. So even if you're not putting it on your own site, but hopefully you are, when you release a press release, when it goes into the newspapers and magazines and so forth, if you have it optimized for search engines, when it shows up on their site, it's going to help bring traffic to your site. Print media already kind of tied in with the QR codes, and then videos. You can use videos in a number of different ways. Of course, they're the funny ones and so forth, but just about any company out there, there are ways that you can be using video to help promote your business. Some of the things that we are going to cover next year throughout the series are the major social networking channels that you see up here. And what we're gonna do is each month pick one that we want to go into detail in and help you understand more what each of the features are, how to use it, and that kind of thing, and help you brainstorm ways that you can actually use it in your business or your organization. We're going to start with the largest one, which is Facebook. Next, we're going to do Twitter. And then next, we'll either do YouTube or LinkedIn, depending on the type of people that are coming to the class and which we think it'll be the most beneficial to. And then we'll go from there.
All right, so there's a few different kinds of social media marketing and stuff like that. The most common on the internet is viral marketing. That's when you take something that's simple, like a short video, and use your customers to spread the word. Basically, it spreads like a virus. One person gets it, they think it's funny, they think it's informative, they send it to other people, they think it's funny or informative, they send it to other people, and the awareness grows exponentially through them. This is a company called Blendtec. This guy owns what was a small blender company, and
just a home blender, like you blend drinks in.
Yeah, not any industrial fancy stuff.